Hi, my name's Judith Turner and I'm the owner of the website GenieCentre.com, which is dedicated to clothing alterations. This is just a very short, quick video on how to shorten a metal zipper. The first thing I do is I use satin bias binding. You don't have to use satin, of course, but I just find that it gives a nice finish and it's nice and soft, so that if the garment is actually rubbing against skin and you've got nice satin bias binding, it's not going to mark the skin at all. So what I'm doing there is I've laid it across the zipper and I'm stitching on the bottom end of the bias binding, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the zipper just a little bit above the bottom of the bias. I have got the right side of the bias binding against the zipper so that when it turns you've got the right side of the bias binding facing out. I'm folding that twice and then I'm just going to stitch across again. By folding it twice, you're also just protecting the bottom of the zipper. Now you can't see that I was actually moving the wheel on the side of the sewing machine, but I was, so that I could go in between the teeth. And it may be that you want to lift it over the teeth a little bit if you're finding that difficult. But you can see that that gives a really nice finish to the end of the zip. I'm just going to show you the second leg. I did alter a pair of trousers for a client. They were suede and she wanted them shortened and she wanted the zips put back in, but of course because the seams had been glued together, I didn't want to extend further up the leg, and this is why they're being shortened. So just a couple of points that I'd like to make here, and that is I do not shorten zips from the top, and the reason being that all of the zips generally have a little knob at the very top which stops the slider from coming off. If you actually cut across that and you don't have something to stop the slider, if the top of the zip comes out, then the slider comes off, and of course, you know, you'll have to replace the zip if you can't get the slider back on. And if you do just sew a couple of stitches across the bottom of a zip and then cut it, of course that's just as bad, because you know, a few rows of stitching is not necessarily going to stop a slider coming off. This particular video is an excerpt of a video that I did for Magic Circle, which is on my website GenieCentre.com. You'll see across the top navigation bar you can go to Magic Circle. It's a video on shortening a pair of suede trousers with zips on the outside leg. Happy altering!